Good morning everyone from the coal yard. So this is a lovely day, the last day of February starting March, and it's a lovely time to tend to our coleworts. I also am very excited because I get to use my new dibbler today. Yay! So this is a dibbler that Nadezhda made for me on her lathe. It has this fun handle, nice and long and slightly slender point, which is a beautiful complement to the dibbler that Nemo made for me, and which is a little bit more sturdy and stockier with this lovely knob rounded handle. Pre-1600s there are documentation of also having a T-handle for your dibbler. And dibblers are just kind of pieces of wood that you can stick into the ground to make a hole for planting, and you can either plant seeds like peas, these are perfect for planting your garden peas, or also for what I like to call stick gardening, where you take something like this colewort here, which is a stick, and then you put it into the ground, and then at these little growing points, and once it's covered with dirt and it not exposed to sunshine, instead of growing vegetatively, it'll start to grow root nut nodes, which you can kind of see starting to happen down over here. So this is one that I layered, which is you take the branches and you bury them to kind of pre-start that root growth here. So let us dibble. There is a passage here from Thomas Hill's The Gardeners Labyrinth, which is England late 1500s, and he talks about dibbling coleworts. All the sorts of kinds of coleworts may be planted at all seasons, so that the times of the earth neither too cold nor too hot. When you mind to set them again in holes made with a dibble, cut away the ends of the roots, lest in the setting into the earth they fold or bend to the ground, which harms them greatly, and only those of a big growth are to be set again, which allows they slowly take root, yet they are caused the stronger. So, he is talking about going through your coal yard, and the ones that are nice and big, such as this one, and you can't see it, it's off screen just over here, but it's a 5-year-old colewort that I've been growing, and it is just beautiful, strong, and healthy, and is doing really, really well. So I took off a chunk, and I'm going to plant it per Thomas Hill. So the first thing he talks about is removing some of this root structure so that the roots don't bend up. So roots really like to grow down, and anytime you're transplanting things, you want to make sure that these roots are growing straight down. This one, also because I layered it, has this funky little bend to it. So I'm going to take my shears, and you can do this with a saw, or I tried with a knife, but this thing is so robust that it was not having any of that. And I'm just going to cut it off here. Oi! Whew. And then, as Thomas Hill described, I'm going to cut back these roots so that they don't, when I'm shoving it into the dibbler hole, they don't bend upwards, they will stay down. And coleworts are very strong. They are very advantageous growers, so they're great at producing roots from their stem. Some other little prep I'm going to do for this is that these little nodules here are where that meristematic tissue is hanging out that is going to produce the roots. So it's kind of like stem cells. They'll either produce roots or shoots depending on what they're exposed to. So I'm just knocking with my thumb those little nubbins off so that this tissue here will be exposed and be like, oh wait, we gotta grow. What are we gonna grow into? Well, it's cold and dark, or moist and dark. We're gonna grow into roots. So I think that should do us pretty well. So here's the dibbler, and here's that. So I can actually go pretty much the full length of this dibble. Oh, hello, Mr. Bee. Aww. Hello, sunshine, bee happiness. So pretty much the full length of the dibble, and put this into the ground. It has this lovely canted growth to it, which is just fine because I can have that pointing away from the other coleworts to make sure that it has plenty of room and airflow to it. So I've cleared my little spot here where I'm going to dibble. This is some mulch that I used. We raised some turkeys earlier on in the year, and This is left over from their bedding, so it's just pine dust with lots and lots of turkey poo in it. So, to dibble, let's give it a whirl. Let's get over here, so insert. Okay, it's going through. I like this flat part here instead of the knob. I can really get my hands behind it and push down. The grips are cool because I can wiggle it around and make the hole just a little bit bigger and reduce suction when I pull it back up. So that's really nice. I don't know if this would work as well for planting peas. Like, I think the knob handle might be better for planting peas, but I really like this flat surface for stick gardening. And you could totally tell too, if you had that T handle, how that could really help with the dibbling process. But this is awesome, just as is. All right, dibble. And now we plant our stick of kale. And so here we go. And it's sliding down into the hole. I'm meeting some resistance on the side, but that's actually good because it'll ensure I have good stem to soil contact, which is nice. You want it nestled up in there. And then one thing I really enjoy about dibblers is that you can just kind of jab it in the soil around to kind of help nestle the soil back in place amongst it. So there's that. Put the mulch back around. And now we have a dibbled colewort a la Thomas Hill, late 1500s England. So that was pretty fun. Another technique you can use for procreating or reproducing, increasing your colewort yield is to take little slivers off the stems and root these. And so this is an example here of one, this little nubbin that comes off the sides of the stems, that you can cut off, making sure you do get some of that meristematic tissue at the stem. And then you can put it in a pot like this, usually in the fall or anytime it's nice and cool and wet, so the plants don't go through a lot of water or heat stress. And then give it some time and it'll produce a lovely ball of roots like this. And so this is something you could either plant as we conventionally do with a shovel making a hole, or I'm going to try dibbling this as well. This one, because the roots are thinner, thought it might be fun to try with a knife and just kind of cut those roots away, which is sad. I don't know, I'm a little scared. I worked so hard to get roots on this thing and now I'm taking them all off. So maybe something like that will work well. And now that the soil is exposed, you can see where that stem is that then this little shoot started from. All right, because this one's smaller and a little bit wider, I'm going to use my other dibbler that has those characteristics. Try not to step in my bed. And then over here, move the soil away. Ooh, I'm going to do this right here. So this is where these guys are crosses of a perennial kale with some coleworts that One Green World is selling as their homesteader perennial kale mix. This is a Jersey walking stick, which is also very pre-1600s in the coleworts themes of it all. So I'm going to dibble here. I'm putting this in the middle of the bed because these guys grow gargantuan. They can get like 8 feet tall. Alright, maybe just a little bit bigger. I think this type of planting would be better off with a shovel instead. And then, yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. That's not gonna work. So, trusty Matic, make a deeper hole. A nice wider, deeper hole, and because it is in the cabbage family, I'm going to go ahead and snap off these 2 little leaves. Thomas Hill also talks a lot about taking off the bottom leaves and planting your coleworts deeper, and then what that allows is more roots to form. So, dibbling, not so much for rooted cuttings, like this little one here we just planted, but dibbling for stems of coleworts? Totally. Alright, we'll check back in here in a few months and see what happens, and hopefully this has rooted well and is growing strong. Same with this little one. Alright, thanks everyone. I hope you are having fun. I hope you are being safe, and I hope you get some dirt underneath your fingernails. Take care.